Hi Luke, how's it going?
Very well, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. So yeah, congratulations on Press. I saw it earlier today and really enjoyed the film.
Oh, thank you. It was a small little movie, but and a small story, but it was kind of both were deliberate. Glad you enjoyed it. It was a fun shoot. Actually, it was only 3 weeks, but we had a great time making it.
Yes, you mentioned a small film because it was more of a drama. Actually, I think no, the fact that it was a low budget film, I think that kind of suited it. I think you could have um, no matter how much money could have been thrown at it or what have you. I don't think would have made much difference.
No, it's a modest story deliberately. It's kind of topical. People losing their jobs, and there's panic stations in it. And these things happen in life. I mean, but all of it included. And I think it is about a man who, he's living not monstrously beyond his means, but he's certainly living, without worry because doesn't, he's fired. I think to set an example to find himself in an unexpected situation. And as I said to the director when I first met him, we discussed if it was going to happen, or certainly if I was going to be a part of it. I said I like the modesty of the story. And the fact he doesn't have a certain set of skills, and he doesn't kick ass. He's, for example, when I did the scene when I broke down and missed my wife, it's just like a cacophony of feeling foolish, feeling stupid, feeling like just, and missing the comfort of what we worked so hard to have. And I like the kind of modesty of the story, and I think you're right. I don't think it had any place for a big budget. I mean, sure, post-production is always benefited by a bit of budget, but
Yeah.
I think Justin, as a first-time director, did a great job.
So how did you actually get involved with the project?
How did I?
Yeah.
It was just an offer. They wanted me to do it, and it came through my agents, and they said that they'd asked if I would do it. And I read it, and I said, first thing I'm going to meet is the director, because I know he's a young guy, and it's his first time. I just want to see who's going to DP the project, and I wanted to know that. I wanted to know what he wanted to achieve. Did he want to make it kind of a bit too actiony, or did he want? And I just wanted to get a sense of where he wanted to head with it. And obviously I like to be collaborative as far as dialogue and all the other stuff. And it just was a good fit. It was kind of a family affair up there in Canada, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. So it was very quick. The evolution of reading it to making it was pretty fast.
So your character Brian, what was interesting about Brian to me was that he's a flawed character, and it's those flaws coupled with the scenario, with the money, that act pretty much as the inciting incident to what is effectively his downfall. So what attracted you to the character?
I'd like to think, like you say, it was flawed, but also like any role, if I read it's too squeaky and there's no flaws or there's no vulnerability, then there's no real excitement for me to want to play it. I just liked the fact that he just didn't have, he's good at what he does, and then he's just out of his element, he's out of his league with this story, and I just thought that would be nice to play somebody who's somewhat desperate and not kicking ass. It was just a nice. I thought there were moments there of just there were things out there more important than him. He's got his children, he's got his wife, his child. I should say, he's got his wife. And I just liked how not normal, but the modesty of it all. I just liked it. And so that's why I wanted to stand. There's a few movies this year. There's one movie I did this year called last year, I should say, called Inside. That was again a guy he's terrified, and he has to find a way to get past that in a prison locked in a paranormal thriller we did. But it was just, I don't know, I like the simplicity of it.
It seems more of a human, a real character.
Yeah, I mean, I love playing those kind of roles. I mean, even, when if I'm playing a super villain or a superhero kind of situation, you still got to find the human in them. It's like you've got to find what makes them feel fragile, what makes them feel vulnerable, what makes them feel scared, it's still a search. When you play somebody who's totally normal, it's actually wonderful because it's a kind of a more of a, not precise, but it's a more of an internal kind of process.
Do you think characters are stronger when they're like that?
For me personally, as a watcher, character, and for somebody, and when I get Lady to Hellboy, those kind of movies, I still want to find the weakness in these guys. I want to find the humanity because as guys as well, the most the dudes I'm bumping into say in the States, they have something to say about it. So we always talk about you want somebody that's kind of flawless. There's nothing that I can relate to on that.
Yeah.
But we get up as guys, we have to kind of protect our emotions. We have to keep ourselves together, keep ourselves strong. And, it's maybe the misses or something privilege for you to actually see you vulnerable or feeling afraid or whatever. Because as guys, we got to, I believe anyway, most of us have to keep that shit together.
Yeah.
So I think when you see roles where there's some kind of breakdown or some kind of chink in the armor, I think it's, for me, certainly more interesting to watch. So when I'm putting it together, I'm always a big fan of trying to achieve that, even with somebody that appears to be either dangerous or otherwise. It's still nice to find that vulnerability.
Yeah, I think it's perhaps easier for audiences to actually connect with characters who they can believe in or and think that they could actually exist, as opposed to some invincible gun-toting warrior kind of character.
Yeah, that's what's really nice to find those scenes where they are sitting by themselves, whether we smoking a cigarette or sitting down with contemplating something or an introspective moment. I think it's important, really important, to find those things in characters.
So over the years, you've become quite synonymous with action movies. But Prest, on the other hand, although it's got guns and gunshots, it's much more of a drama, a crime drama. What's the prospect of doing something, perhaps a little bit different, interesting to you?
Yeah, I've actually there's a film I just did, my first British movie in a long time, called Interview with the Hitman. I'm really proud of it. It's a love story set around the world of the hitman, but again, the hitman doesn't bring with it explosions and stuff like that, and even really not many guns. There's guns that you see in the scene many, many times, but you don't see them fired a great deal. It's primarily an internal story, British film. And, a love story set around that world that I was really interested in, and I read it, and I didn't see the ending coming, so that's been that we filmed that. And that's pretty much the drama out and out. And then again, there's a movie Inside, which is a supernatural thriller. But you don't actually see any of the things that are going on. You hear them, and then occasionally you see the little result of something that's happened. You don't actually see it happen.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like a play. It's a guy that was in Rawhide, Paul Ray, and myself. I played the principal character, and then it's if you like, kind of like a movie. It's a movie that's a play. It's just two of us in a cell, and we don't really see us till the last act out of those cells. It's a really interesting story, and that's again, no action going on in the cell other than tears and panic, and obviously, an action movie of Definition Inferno coming up. But that's there's been a lot of drama this last year that's just gone, and I loved it. It was a new, like you said, slightly new direction, but still bringing in some physical capability, but not driven by that. It just was assisted by that.
Yeah. Well, moving from acting to producing, which began with Blood Out. How's producing working out for you?
It is. I don't really enjoy it in the sense of raising money and all that other stuff, but I do like it's a means to an end to make a movie with people that you both care about, whether it be friendship driven or a combination of friendship and talent, and looking around and finding yourself upset with people that you enjoy being around and also enjoy what they're capable of doing professionally.
Right.
And so, to me, I like it because it's exciting conversations, because you can say, look, I'm going to put something together that anyone who, even if you're not in film, you can still understand it's hard to actually get a movie going in this climate.
Yeah.
So I think the challenge of that is exciting, and also being able to have that creative say across the board is exciting. And I'm directing this year too, which is both nervous and excited about. But so that's just one of the movies we're producing is I Rogue also. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's a fun time. It's intimidating, but that's what gets you up in the morning,
Yeah. So you're spreading your wings as far as the creative involved in the development.
Sometimes it goes a bit beyond the spread. It's like, ouch, but that's, it's a responsibility, and if I'm writing it, producing it, it better be okay because I don't have any excuses because
Yeah.
I can't. It would be my fault entirely. So it's certainly, but it's worth the challenge and it's worth giving it a shot at least. You know. I think it's all about having creative say and also, but also the collaborative thing that one player lead role gives you, which I'm thankful for. But with producing, it's a case of having that collaborative energy, sitting around the table, having ideas, and getting excited about something that doesn't exist yet, but you know it will. It's kind of it's a fun life, you know.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, filmmaking, is a collaborative process anyway. So I mean, man, it's always good
More than
to.
ever, more than anything I've ever done. I mean, I would say, you know, we were joking that those are like it's a chain of people, and the actors might be it's chrome-plated link, but it's exactly the same thing. It's the same fabric, it has the same breaking strain, and you really are all very much dependent on each other. And that's what's so beautiful about film. It really is. Nobody's more important than the other because you take away an element, then you don't have a chain. It's done.
Absolutely. So many of the films you've made have found distribution in the home entertainment market, which these days is no bad thing, especially where action and horror thrive. Obviously, as an actor, bigger the release, the better. But as a producer, obviously you need to think a bit differently. From a business perspective, have you concentrated on producing films, perhaps specifically targeting that market, or is your intention at the moment to produce anything a bit bigger?
I think the thing is you want to make sure you can make a profit in the sense of, you know, anything above what it's cost to make and put out. But
Yeah,
it's not profit in a bottom line sense, it's profit in the sense if you don't lose money for the investors and you can keep making films. But when I'm talking about what we're doing and producing, for example, I won't sell domestic rights. I'm not going to be getting into handing over certain things that don't allow the potential of something to become greater than we hoped for, or not hoped for, but if you start, I see a lot of producers, they sell domestic rights here, then everywhere they get rid of this territory, they give exclusives to that. And I'm thinking, why would you possibly do that? You could basically just diminish every possibility this film has of growing. It's just say, was a surprise hit or a runaway success. You just stopped it before it had a chance. So I think you have to be careful. Say, for example, where you would release, or where would you, for example, on the pre-sale side of things, as a producer. And actually, your comment about being home entertainment not being a bad thing, it's interesting because I'm finding more and more people understanding that because we sit at home with our 60-inch TVs, and like say that say for example, Death Race came out with number 3 in America.
yeah,
That's number 3 in the main charts. That's still a huge amount of profit. And so it's interesting that the perspective is changing and people are understanding it. But of course, having a theatrical release and it being say number 1 movie is a buzz more than anything. It's fun and it's really good for the career. At the same
absolutely, yeah,
time, making a film is making a film, and I don't have a concept that some people do, and I've worked with them, but some people have a concept of it, others don't. Of giving a different game or a different level of your commitment based upon either the budget of the film or its home, whether it be home entertainment or theatrical. I don't have a concept of my output. My output's the same. My commitment to the project is the same. So for me, I look at it. I think maybe it's because I'm British. I came, London born, and I'm so lucky to be doing it. I mean, genuinely, it's not just, for the purpose of the interview. I mean, I genuinely feel blessed and lucky to be doing it. So it's a case of, I know that profit means I can do it again. And profit means that somebody enjoyed it. So, you're achieving. For me, it's personally driven by, I like to bump into people and say, hey man, I fucking love that movie.
yeah.
It's fun. You did wreck someone's night. And then the other thing is, the investors are happy because they made the money and more. So
Yeah, yeah.
it means you can go play again and make another film.
Obviously, Luke, you've worked with Guillermo del Toro on Hellboy and Blade 2. Are there any plans to work with him again? At the moment, at least.
I don't know. He said to me once, we'll always work together and when we did Hellboy, but I hope so. I love working with him. He always makes it. It's like a master class in film every time you work with Guillermo he understands film, and he's also a huge fan of the history of film, and also, I guess, like a gifted fanboy beyond belief. It's nice to be around him. But I would presumptuously say I hope so, and I would assume that we'll do something together again in the future. But I don't know that yet.
Right. Well,
thanks.
thanks.
Like with Hellboy, just showed up.
Yeah.
I didn't. He just said, gave me that role, which is very nice of him. But yeah, I mean, for example, if people say, "Well, did you do makeup again?" I wouldn't do it again. I don't think unless it was for him.
Oh, right.
So it's not a hurry to do. I mean, it's worth it with his roles because he challenges you so much.
It's a case of see what the future holds.
Yeah, I mean, he said in some ways we'll always work together, and I hope that that's true because I really love working with him. But we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks a lot, Luke. Pleasure speaking.
I really appreciate your time, Adam. Thank you, mate.
Thanks a lot.
I think it's all about having creative say, and also the collaborative thing that one playing lead roles gives you, which I'm thankful for. But